We're in Fez now, and we're at our Airbnb, which also happens to be a real palace. It was built in 1907, and it's called Mokri Palace.
Mokri Palace, yeah.
It's exquisite. Look at this tile work. Tegan was crawling up and down the stairs, mostly up. And then I carried her back down. But look how exquisite this is.
We went from a castle in Salamanca to a palace in Fez.
Yeah.
And I think I read that this was built by the king's son, whoever the king was in 1907.
Isn't that pretty, Teague? It's a nice view, honey.
So we're now in the Medina of Fez. The Medina is the old town of an Arab city, and this here is the largest one in the world. There's 150,000 people who live here. It's also the largest car-free urban area in the world. It's pretty awesome. We've been walking for maybe 15 or 20 minutes from our room, and there's absolutely no way that you can not be lost here. You just walk through the maze of alleyways. It says there are over 9,000 alleyways here. This just being one of them. I guess this is another here. And basically so far we've just seen a lot of shops. I guess we'll see more variation as we walk along, like more restaurants and hotels and things. So yeah, we're just getting our bearings in Fez for the first time. Also, Fez is the largest city in Morocco too. I keep out of the corner of my eye thinking this mannequin is a real person.
I saw you look at him a couple times.
The hustlers here are pretty aggressive. We've already had a couple ones come up to us and say like, oh, Medina this way, and then like you follow them and then they want to sell you everything under the sun.
Or just money for their troubles.
There's money to like tell you that you're walking in the right direction. One we were following, not because we were following him, he was just walking in the direction we wanted to go anyway. And we told him, okay, now we're going to split off, we're going this way instead of the way he wanted us to go. And he told us everything is closed that way. And, you know, we haven't seen a single thing that has been closed since. So, not even for first timers are we going to be swindled that easily. It's kind of a shame because like you have to be so on guard to avoid the hustling. Sometimes people are just being friendly or pointing something out to you that you need to know, like that low beam over there that I might have hit my head on. And you just are kind of rude and on guard by default. So I kind of feel bad, but there's really no way of differentiating who has good intentions and who doesn't.
There was one guy who said that Tegan was so beautiful, he wanted to marry her when she was older, and he said that he would give her 900,500,000 exactly camels.
So we told him we'd come back in a few years when she's older. He was probably, what, 14?
Yeah.
So he's a little bit older than Tegan.
Just a little bit. Excited, T? You like the Medina? Tegan's got the travel bug. Tegan's having the time of her life.
She loves Fez.
I'm not even tickling her, like she's just so excited.
There's a lot to look at and to be excited for in this city.
Oh, there's light. There's a light.
So this here in the heart of the Medina of Fez is the University of Carouan. It's the oldest university in the world according to Guinness. It was founded by a Tunisian woman in 859, so it's over 1,100 years old. Pretty amazing. There's also a mosque in there, and non-Muslims can't enter. So this is the best view we'll get, although there's plenty of touts around here telling us that they can give us a better view. We are going to decline their services. Surprisingly, it took about 20 minutes after leaving the room before we were approached for the first time. So it's funny because the university, as I said, was founded by a Tunisian woman, and women weren't allowed to study there until I think the 1930s, so like 1,000 years after it was founded.
We're in Saffron Square right now. This is one of the main squares in the Medina, and this is where they do all the metal work, which they've done for generations, and it remains relatively unchanged this entire time. So it's really loud too.
It's funny because it says this is one of the biggest squares in the city, or at least in the Medina, but it's really not that big. It's just the city is so compact.
Yeah, I mean everything is so narrow. Yeah, metal. I guess you can turn that into something pretty.
This here is kefta. I've gotten it a couple times so far in Morocco, and it's like a meatball dish with tomato sauce and egg. And I didn't know that Moroccan food had so much tomato-based sauces, but we've seen that a lot, and it's really good.
Pretty much couscous is the national dish here in Morocco. We've been getting it left, right, and sideways because Tegan seems to like it. It's not overly salted, pretty bland, and it goes with a mixture of things. So Tegan's been enjoying the hell out of this stuff. She's got veggies, couscous, some broth that we could pour on it. It's outstanding.
So here's a view of the Kairouan Mosque, which is associated with the Kairouan University, which we spoke about before. And the mosque here is considered the central part of the culture and the religious identity of Fez. So we're in the area of the tannery now. This is one of the most iconic sites of the city, and we were told that we'd be able to smell it as we've approached, and we can smell it. And you can also see the coloring on the floor from the dyes from the leather. This is the main tannery. I think there are a few in the city, and basically you just stroll in on the street, and these guys take you up to these balconies. You give them a tip, and now you can see the process. So the first part of the process is down here, and what they do is they soak the animal hides in limestone for 4 days, and it removes the hair. You can see a bunch of hair up here on the left.
There's the hair.
Yeah. And this giant thing on the right here is a big washing machine. After the hair is removed, they wash it. There's the washing machine down there. Down here is the second part of the process, and they actually soak it in a mixture of pigeon poop and something else. I don't know what else.
I thought it was cow dung.
Yeah, cow dung, pigeon poop, and there's something else. And he said they soak it in there for 10 days.
Did you say they have the children pick up the pigeon poop?
Yeah, that's how they harvest it. You're kind of warned that this place smells really bad, and when you come in, they give you mint leaves to like hold on your nose. And I mean, it smells, and it's kind of unpleasant, but it's really not as bad as you would expect. Like I don't even need to use the mint leaves.
I used it a couple times.
And this is the final step of the process on this side, and also the best view of it. Down here is where they give the leather their color, and they use all different types of things to create the dyes. The most expensive of which is saffron, which I guess gives it more of a yellow color. This is the same process that's been used since medieval times, and it hasn't changed at all.
That is a workout what he's doing.
And then the leather is used to make what you'd expect: bags, shoes, belts, all of your leather needs. It's easy to get immersed down below there, but the view up above is pretty good too.
Mountain, yeah.
And it's a super clear day. There's not a cloud in the sky. Luckily in Fez, in the Medina at least, it's pretty easy to stay out of the sun because all of the alleys are like 4 or 5 stories tall and literally like, 6 to 10 feet wide.
Yeah,
so
it's ridiculous.
You're pretty much always in the shade. So from the other vantage point, we scoped out this balcony, which looked like it had a better view, and somehow we managed to actually find it. It's a little confusing, and in front of every door, there's someone trying to get you to come in for their view and you pay them a tip. So, but we guessed right. Here we are. This is the balcony we wanted, and it's a much better view of the main area. And yeah, you can see a little bit more variety of color from this angle. And they use goats, camels, cows.
Oh, that guy's adding more dye. Now he's swirling it with one leg. This is a good workout, I'm sure. In order to get to this balcony lookout point, we walked through a leather store, and no joke, there were like 40 different sized rooms of just leather, ranging from small belts to thick purses to large racing coats.
Here are the saffron dyed hides here, and you can see they're pretty richly dyed on the underside.
This is just one of the rooms. Look at all these shoes. Kristen just noticed that there's slippers hanging from the ceiling too. So it's like literally all around us. Crazy. Another room. There's a gate. Jesus. Alright, so everything that we've read about Morocco as a whole is that they're really super friendly when it comes to people traveling with children. To the point where they'll like pick them up and give them kisses. Someone bought Tegan a present before. Well, anyways, her nose has been running lately, and a Moroccan man approached me. He grabbed the napkin out of my hand and cleaned Tegan's nose for me. And she was flailing and waving her hands yet again, as she always does, and he kept at it till he cleaned her nose for me. And then he gave me back the napkin and just walked away. I thought that was so freaking nice. I was so appreciative because I hate cleaning your nose. So does Justin. It's the worst. But anyways, Morocco. 2 thumbs up.